All right, good morning, FSPA. I'm Sierra Cole,
And I'm Sarah Cummings.
and you're listening to WPHS.
Podcast.
Yeah. All right, so obviously, over the past 10 years, especially us growing up as Gen Zensters, I guess that's what you call it, right? We're the
Gen Zensters.
Yeah. We've experienced a total shift when it comes to entertainment. Basically, with the revolution of the iPhone and the app services that are on there, like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those things. TV, especially cable, has become less relevant. We really focus on what's on our phone and not what's on the TV screen anymore.
Yeah.
Not necessarily movies, I think.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I'm watching TV shows on streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I don't know,
Yeah, I know, especially my dad, after dinner he's gonna sit down and he's gonna watch the TV with his dinner,
yeah.
and I'm going to be sitting there either watching it with him sometimes if I'm interested, but really just on my phone.
Or my mom, mostly every day when she comes home from work, she just turns on YouTube and starts watching her YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not just our generation, it's other older generations too.
Mm-hmm.
But as things progress and change, and these younger generations are gonna have more access to everything. I was just the new show Bluey.
Stop.
That I'm just saying, with the amount of kids that our age that watch kids shows,
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Teen Titans, people are still watching Teen Titans.
What was that?
Miraculous Ladybug, and Bluey, and there's just so many, and then Phineas and Ferb coming out with 2 more seasons.
Oh yeah, that was a huge oh my gosh,
It's crazy how once you're a teenager, you're still a kid, but you're still wanting to watch kids shows.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you understand it better than when you were a kid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, speaking of revivals, think about it, that 90s show just came out, And
See, I haven't seen that.
It's actually pretty good, and what they did is they geared it towards our generation a little bit more. Even though, yeah, it's based in the 90s, but they're gearing it, comedy-wise, they're gearing it towards us. So I think it's pretty good. But
also, Netflix has some serious, big shows that have been coming out recently, Wednesday, and...
Oh, yeah.
And then Stranger Things 4, right? Stranger Things 4, and then they're coming out with the 5th season eventually in 2 years, something like that.
But I do think that there's a scary thought, and it's there's not a lot new.
Yeah, there's not a lot of new things anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's
If
all spin-offs. It's all revivals.
Oh, especially books. Books are just basically the same thing. I read romances more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read a romance, you have to, either have these certain type of tropes in them and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just well, it kind of gets boring after a while, And, especially with shows, things get really repetitive and really boring. But,
I know, making a book into a TV show or a movie, that was, a main thing. But now they're making, video games into movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, The Last of Us, that's a huge show that has just taken off. But it was a video game.
Mm.
So, I've never seen something like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen a video game become,
I mean, obviously we've seen, comic books become movies, become video games, but, it's different when a book becomes, a movie and then into a video game.
Okay.
What's your name? What's your occupation?
My name is Giles, and I work at a pizza place.
Okay, Giles, what are you listening to nowadays?
Nowadays, it's kind of the same old, the shoegaze. If you know that genre, you probably don't, because you're stupid.
Would you say today's generation, they like more of the retro music?
You mean more than past generations, or just
Yeah, so when it comes to millennials, they always looked forward, and so now this generation's kind of looking back in a way.
I asked my parents about that fairly recently, and they said that, like, even back in the day, they still had like a bunch of people that would listen. Like, they went to high school in the 80s, and they said they had a bunch of kids that would, like, they were, like, Beatles fanboys, and, like, Rolling Stones, and, like that type of stuff.
Okay.
So, like, and, like jazz kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not really a new thing.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's a new thing.
No, I mean,
I think it's just one of those things where it's like, it's like a generational thing that everybody thinks is like new, but it's not, you know.
Well, especially like the Harry Styles album that came out. What was it?
I'm not a Harry Styles.
Well, I know, but like there's a bunch of songs out that are just like very technologically like in back then, like when the 80s was, and like the sound, the sound of how music is now is just like different.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the new SZA album.
The new SZA album.
Her.
I haven't listened to it.
I think it's pretty good.
I don't know if I can name any SZA. I'm gonna be honest.
I think it's real. I think people are all like, rap sucks. But here's the thing.
I'm so mature.
No, here's the thing. Technically, rap is literally just a form of poetry. Like, it really is. Like, yeah, there's like raunchy stuff.
You got to get into specifics, okay? Because
yeah.
Now, like that's like saying rock is all poetry, you know, and like
no.
you know,
rock is not poetry.
Yeah,
because they're like, I think that like rap is literally just like.
Well, it depends on what kind of rap we're talking. Like, if you're saying like old school, more lyrical rap, then yeah, that is very much poetry. But like a lot of, and I mean, you have to think about the intent of the music, because like a lot of like trap artists and like a lot of trap artists, they're not making music to be poetic or like meaningful.
Yeah.
It's meant to be fun music.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and I think a lot of rap is meant to be fun music, but that doesn't detract from the kinds of rap that aren't fun music and that are, you know, real art and that take a lot of passion and a lot of effort, like a lot of Kendrick Lamar stuff, you know.
No, exactly. Like some of the ones, like if you're listening to it and you really start to listen to it, you're like, oh, like this person is describing like what, like
this is the emotion I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not trap where it's like, oh, like we're partying, we're having a good time. Like,
and even in some more like vulgar genres of rap, like gangster rap, if you listen to the lyrics more, and especially like I listen to a lot of like old Memphis rap, and if you listen to some of those lyrics, a lot of times when they're describing like gang activity and violence and stuff, if you read into it, a lot of times it's very critical of those systems and the way that their like communities view like drugs and like the gang lifestyle. It's all very, very critical and self-aware if you read into it more. But
not just rap, like any song.
I mean, yeah.
No, I actually had his name was Bryce Tressler. He actually like on stage, the assignment was to say a monologue, to like speak a monologue, and he actually used a rap song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forget which one it was, but he just used it, and then like, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that is so, it was so good, it was so cool, and it was very sad and deep, and yeah, everybody loved it. So that's what I say more when it's like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I just think you can't like talk about rap as like as a collective, like as a genre, just like how you can't talk about rock or any other or pop.
Yeah. Like
that. And I think a rap is victim to that a lot because people are very oversimplistic with rap and they tend to look down on it, I think.
So, I mean, I don't know. How do you end a podcast? That should be an episode.
Just say that.
This is my ending to the FSPA quick turn, whatever this is, podcast. Goodbye.